Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War pro modcasts of this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 1 vs 1 on Gilneas Crusade. Over in the Space Marine corner, we've got DoWProIShed, and on the other side of the map, playing as Imperial Guard, we've got Blueman52. Blueman going to go for triple Guardsman, Tech Priest Engine Seer, and a Infantry Command, whereas the Space Marine player is going to go for triple Scouts, a Chapel Barracks, and a Plasma Generator. Before this game gets underway, I do want to highlight that this Friday at 7 PM GMT on the old Dawn of War Pro Mod Discord, we will be doing a slight bit of a community event. We're going to be doing a reenactment of the Armageddon? Not the Armageddon, just Armageddon in general. Steel Legion versus Orcs, as many 2v2s, 3v3s, 4v4s as humanly possible. So if that's something you find interesting and you want to play with the boys and the girls on the Discord, please do feel free to come along and join. That link's all in the description as per usual. Anyway, on with the game. So we've got triple Scouts from the Space Marines, regular old infantry from the Imperial Guard. Now, Gilneas Crusade, it's not really that particularly of a benefit for either Space Marines or Imperial Guard. To be honest, not much in the way of negative cover, apart from on these strategic points on either side of the map. Shouldn't really influence the game all that much. Lots of wide open spaces for the Space Marines to manoeuvre around in their Rhino transports. Lots of narrow corridors for the Imperial Guard to be defensive over.
Area secured.
I'll go and see these Scouts and Imperial Guard almost within seeing distance of each other, not quite able to see. Although these Scouts, I imagine, will be having a little peep at these Guardsmen, firing at them, but then deciding, nope, too many unaltered humans with their las guns and whatnot. Do have a commander going up against these guys with a Commissar and a Psyker, chasing them all the way back home. Force commander out in force, ready to push these guys back as and when they become a little bit too friendly with the base. Guardsman now equipped with a Commissar. We'll see these Scouts and push them away from the Relic. So at the moment, the Space Marines have been denied both Relics, which is quite a big thing in Dawn of War Pro Mod, as when you get your Relic, you are able to buy hero equipment for your main dude, which is quite a detriment if you're not able to do it. So with that in mind, the Space Marines are deciding to move over here. Lots of, in fact, all three Scout squads and a squad of Space Marines going to murder these guys quite quickly, pushing them off of the Relic. This listing post will be quite difficult to defend. Might want to just cancel that and leave it as a bad job. But yeah, that's quite a sizable defense, considering that they've left this side of the map completely and totally undefended. So the Imperial Guard will probably focus on that side, but not take it lying down. The command squad will return over here and shove these Space Marines off. I want to get into this heavy cover, use it as some form of defensive line, but you can't let that listing post go up. If that goes up, it'll be very, very difficult for the Space Marine player to retake it. It's got to be a little bit more aggressive, gonna get involved. Also have these, is there a Psyker in here? Oh no, just the Psyker in the command squad, reducing the overall range damage that the Imperial Guard will take, and combining that with the heavy cover, really quite a serious situation for the Space Marines. They want to charge them into close combat. Gladiuses are whirling. We've even got the Tech Priest Engine Seer joining in the mix. But no, they are gonna hover around in this light cover with this one singular Guardsman firing away at this Scout, fighting a very, very minor inconvenience in the grand scheme of things. Oh, there we go. He's repositioned, so he's not taking that slight bit of damage. There's a bit of a Mexican standoff here. No one wants to move at all. Pardon me. But now this listing post has been finished, it has been upgraded as well. So stick a Guardsman in there. In fact, they've probably stuck a Tech Priest engine seer in there. Or have they? Have they not? Okay, never mind. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, that. We've got some scouts capturing the critical location in the middle. Imperial Guard just building up everything and anything on this side of the map. All's going to take this critical location.
Transmit their location. Let me.
Command squad having a look, seeing if he's still over there, and it is indeed. Listing post being built on top of that relic, and we now have some grenade launchers for the Imperial Guards. That will certainly help them in the ranged battle. Force commander moving forward, tying up one of these guard squad as a psychic zaps him with some painted warp energy. And now the command squad is getting involved in there as well. Guardsmen being broken more or less, forced backwards. I want to move these guys inside. Oh no, they're just going to shut it out, stand in the way. Command squad losing their... Oh no, the commissar's still there. Oh, you're there. Fair enough. And now they've just swapped over. They've swapped over the places. Space Marines firing away, killing down that commander, almost getting the commissar as well. Yeah, the Space Marines certainly have this area on lockdown at the moment. How many Space Marines are there? There's 12 in total. Anyone going for tier 2? 115 and 30 compared to 103 and 20. Gonna go for the armory as well as another plasma generator. In tier 1, if you get the armory for the Space Marines, they are able to upgrade themselves with heavy bolters.
We are the Emperors.
Am I right? Yeah, they are able to get heavy bolters. So that'll make them all the more lethal against the infantry of the Imperial Guard. Imperial Guard are going to go for tier 2 and their tactical control. Commissars in the mix for both of these squads. Guardsmen over here been shot down by these triple scouts before jumping into listing post. Another infantry command going to be thrown down here, adding to the defensive capability of this side of the map. Yeah, to be honest, even if the Imperial Guard lose this listing post, they've still got the listing post advantage over the Space Marines. These guys need to start moving and doing something. They were probably just standing here waiting for the Imperial Guard to come knocking around again. Imperial Guard going to be seeing what they can do over on this side. Space Marines, not wanting to leave them to their own devices, are going to move over onto this side. Will be seen by the command squad, who's now only just getting his replacement commander.
Yes, my
losing the commissar. Probably will lose this psycho as well if he's not quick about it. Unupgraded listing post, really good find for Shed. Undefended will go down quite quickly. Guardsmen over here not reacting. Probably don't want to get involved in this at the moment, as two fully recruited squads of Space Marines with their sergeants will melt these guardsmen quite quickly until they get their numbers up and running. Going for that decap, heavy weapons increase on these guys as well. So I imagine they will be going for something. The scouts are going to go for some sniper rifles.
Awaiting orders.
And these are basically one shot, one kill against the guardsmen, who are now upgrading themselves with plasma guns. That's exactly what you want to see on your guardsmen against a staunch line of Space Marines. So these guys are looking a little bit more fragile now that that's a thing. Another unupgraded listing post over here going to go down as well. Guardsmen are now going to be on the move. Careful not to go down this side for the negative cover. And there we go, we've got 4 fully upgraded squads of guardsmen moving in, as well as the command squad looking to get revenge.
Awaiting orders.
But yeah, those Space Marines go down quite quickly to plasma fire. Boss commander going to be one-shotted by this Psyker. 360 no-scopes into oblivion. And yeah, look how quickly these Space Marines go down once those plasma guns are online. With that being said, we've got triple snipers flanking these guardsmen, although won't save their Space Marine comrades, unfortunately. That's a lot of dead Space Marines. That's a lot of blue money also being wasted there. I'm going to transition into some land speeders. Yeah, land speeders and scout snipers. That's not a bad combination. After all, these plasma guns won't do... Well, I mean, they'll still do good damage against the infantry of the Scout Marines, but not nearly as good as a counter against the Space Marines. Also, the range of these bad boys is insane. Land speed now online. We are also going to see some plasma pistol upgrades. So I imagine that will also add to the damage that the Scout Sergeant can do. Trying to go for that critical location. Pardon me.
At your command.
But yeah, if they're able to get this critical location, the additional line of sight that they're able to get will certainly help them with the whole shooting with their sniper rifles. But losing a sniper just there, quite unfortunate. I also don't think that they've got their infiltration researched. After all, there's no point really going for all much infiltration, as all the mini-heroes of the Imperial Guard do have infiltration detection. I'm seeing a heavy weapons team. Nothing in the way of the mechanized command. It's 97 and 60 compared to 109 and 50. Setting up down here for reasons beyond my ken. I assume he's going to upgrade it. Maybe not. We shall see. Either way, Relic over here being assaulted by the Imperial Guard. But look at that, just wanton destruction of all the guardsmen over here. Psyche moving by, we'll see him, but then be instantly killed himself. And now, triple land speeders. I do like how he waited for 3 land speeders to be built before bringing them out. And that's an absolute slaughter right there. Caught in the killing fields. Yeah, the Imperial Guard are going to have to get something else out. Ah, a Hellhound. That is actually probably exactly what you want in this situation. Also, these heavy las cannons will certainly do the business against the land speeder. But yeah, look at that. More or less wiping one out straight away.
Ready and willing, sir.
So very good reaction from the Imperial Guard player. Hellhound and heavy las cannon team. It's exactly what you want. Scouts now in the Space Marine base, unsure of what to do at the moment, as they can't really bash any buildings. It's not what they're ideal for. A heavy bolter turret down here and an upgrade listing post will keep them at bay as well. That's the problem with these scouts. They're not really good for going into the base. I can see a Predator there. Now, a Predator would be very good at going in the base. Fortress Monastery, tier 3 for the Space Marines. A little scan going down to see if there's any snipers hanging around here. Guardsmen can't really travel out on their own. Another Hellhound. But I also want to see a Chimera as well, just so you can move your infantry around safely. Do some Carsicans. Double Hellhounds moving out. As the Guardsmen over here are capturing this critical location. Do have like a little bit of a mini base going down here as well, which I quite like. The ever-expanding influence of the Imperium. Alright, so Guardsmen moving over on this side. Predator has popped. Land speeders flanking on the right-hand side. Guardsmen will have to drop that critical location a little bit earlier than they wanted to. Las Cannon team smack bang in the middle over here. Hellhounds moving forward. And these guys, I don't think are affected by negative cover. Oh no, they are, never mind. They're moving a bit forward, but a little bit out of position with this Predator knocking around. Want to be very careful with these guys. And Space Marines now upgraded with quadruple, septuple missile launchers. Taking out one Hellhound. Quick as you like. Carsicans with their quick sprinting ability, also not doing that much in the way of living. Guardsmen going to... Have they captured that? No, they have cancelled capturing that. They want to form some sort of defensive line at the moment. Las Cannon team doing what it can. Force... Well, not Force Commander, just a regular old commander. Inspiring his men, keeping them alive. May as well fall back a little bit and wait for those, well, that ability to finish before going back in. But yeah, this is currently this Space Marine composition has got an answer for everything that the Imperial Guard have. Scouts, snipers for the regular infantry, as well as these land speeders. missile launchers for the Hellhounds. The Predator just for general DPS.
They will learn to fear me.
But the Guardsmen have got...
Nothing will get through our
They've also got an answer for everything that the Space Marines have. It's just that they're not as good options. The heavy lascannon team isn't nearly as mobile. Double Space Marines down here. Going to destroy this heavy bolter turret. No man's business. Cascans are going to take it lying down. They will engage in mortal combat. Throwing down a melter bomb on this Rhino tank. With only one squad there, they won't be able to out damage an entire Rhino tank straight away. We'll see a Rhino flamer on that Rhino as well.
Thank you, Machine Spirit, for our safe arrival.
Pet Priest engine seers, both of them travelling down on this side, going to build another heavy bolter turret. It's all a bit of a standoff at the moment. No one really wants to move. I do feel that each composition, like I said, the Space Marine composition is a little bit better, I would say, but yeah, it's still anyone's game at the moment. One bad engagement from either player will have it. Lehman Russ battle tank on the field. Now this is a serious piece of kit. Don't want to mess with these. It can be upgraded with a Vanquisher cannon as well as a las cannon and a coaxial mounted heavy bolter. Cascans being absolutely kit-and-fisted by the snipers and whatnot. In fact, will probably take down the whole squad right there. Hellhound chasing away the Space Marines in their Rhino transports. Land speeders chunking away at these guardsmen. These heavy las cannon teams have not been repositioned, sadly. But these guys have been pushed back. Pet Priest agency is also just kind of just walking straight past them. Not ideal, losing a Tech Priest agency here. Would like to have seen them being stuck in the field command and transported via this listening post. Would have been quicker and safer. Well, the heavy bolter turret firing away with its missiles. And now Space Marines have got this critical location in the middle. Now, if they can hold this, to be honest... I mean, have they... I mean, the Imperial Guard have got this position, which the Space Marines should have really taken a while ago, to be honest.
On the field. We're under fire.
But I mean, to keep the Guardsmen on their toes, they can just keep those two critical locations and force them into movement.
Where do you want us, sir?
Guardsmen into tier 3, 140 and 70 compared to 116 and 70. Big float on the Imperial Guard section in regards to their blue money. Assault Marine squad moving over onto this side. Space Marines also going to try and take down this position. Now is the time for the Imperial Guard to move. With all the missile launching squads down assaulting the structures at the bottom. Lehman Russ with its Vanquisher cannon. These scouts being more or less wiped out straight away as the guards have moved forward. So a lot of snipers have been lost here. Land speeders quite low on health, both of them. I'm going to move straight in there. And we'll be seen by this Hellhound. Very unusual placements. Predator doing what it can. Against the Lehman Russ Vanquisher and a Hellhound. The majority of these Space Marines have now turned around after destroying this listing post and decapping it. Yeah, Lehman Russ looking like it's going to go down, will go down. And Assault Marines assaulting everyone possible. And it does look like that the entirety of the Imperial Guard army has been vanquished, apart from these dudes over here. But yeah, he's got a significant float at the moment. He could just spam anything and everything he wanted to.
The hand of the Emperor.
We'll be going for some more Tech Priest engine seers. Got a heavy las cannon down here. What else are you going to go for? Going to go for a Governor's Raiment. The singular squad of guardsmen. Oh, we do have a couple of guardsmen over here, and they are on auto replenishment at the moment.
Sir, yes, sir.
Space Marines, you're going for more Predators. Orbital relay. So I imagine some deep striking I mean, I assume deep striking Dreadnoughts would be the way forward. Or Terminators, possibly. I mean, the Guardsmen don't really have, even with their plasma guns, taking out a Terminator squad, it's quite a tricky business.
Where do you want
But double heavy las cannons down here. Space Marines not being upgraded at the moment. They don't have as much of a blue float, still spending all their pennies as much as possible. Got that critical location down to a fine art. Assault Marines in the middle. Looking like they want to do something drastic, something dangerous.
Ever vigilant.
Orbital relay now being finished. We've got a relatively, well, what I say, I was about to say it's undefended, but then again, this is a tier 2 listing post and a command squad, so even with all this stuff, the Space Marines would win it, but they would lose a significant amount of fighting stuff, and they don't really have the economy at the moment to be replenishing anything and everything at the drop of a hat. So yeah, probably want to at some point, oh, there we go, now they're decapping this critical location and recapping it. So once they've got that, I reckon that the Space Marine player would benefit from probably playing the more defensive game, making the Imperial Guard come out of their little hidey holes. That would be what I would do if I was a betting man. Got a Vindicator Assassin. Space Marine Dreadnought coming out of the machine cult. I imagine it has gone into the orbital relay. Scouts doing a little bit of scouting, as is their want and need. Listing post down here, not been upgraded yet, so still kind of vulnerable if the Space Marines want to do a little bit of cheeky manoeuvring. Scouts doing a bit of, I don't know what that was. That was something. Bit of a misclick there. Probably wanted to come over here and try and see if they could capture that critical location. But losing a lot of sniper fire. I do believe that was the last scout squad.
4 minutes until
Sacred Artifact on the way. That's one thing that we're missing in this Space Marine composition. We don't have anything in the way of chaplains or apothecaries. If you get an apothecary and a chaplain in 2 adjacent squads, their health regeneration is quite incredible. Predator with a las cannon going to, in fact, they both got las cannons, so they're on tank hunting duties. Let's move over here. These Cascans are going for their melter guns, and will be taken care of quite quickly. These submarines not jumping in at all, leaving their Predators to die in the field of battle. Kind of just looking around, minding their own business. While this is going on, Space Marines went in for the listing post down here. We'll probably now transition over onto this side and see if they can bash any more Imperial Guard buildings. Lehman Russ battle tank being repaired. We'll see these assault marines. They'll probably start assaulting them, I imagine. Assault marines now seeing the tank will now move into close combat. Predator looks like they've lost one Predator, which is very unfortunate. Taking additional damage in the negative cover. Also being stopped by these infiltrate Cascans. Can't really get out. That is quite the waste of Predators. Losing 2. And what do the Predators do? They failed to kill the Lehman Russ tank. They failed to get anything major in the way of building bashing.
We are the Emperor's chosen. Fear denies
Walk
faith.
softly.
Although, in saying that, there are now 2 heavy las cannon teams that are alone in this world, only supported by their command squad. Particularly uniquely vulnerable to melee damage. A heavy las cannon team trying to run away. It does manage to get into this listing post. Valkyrie strike coming down. Will get just the tip, or just the circumference, or whatever you call the edge of the circle, on the assault squad. Now all these Space Marines with only missile launchers will be nailed in by these guardsmen with their plasma guns. But the assault marines now doing what they failed to do earlier on, going to absolutely annihilate these guardsmen. Going to see some deep striking. I imagine this is going to be the Dreadnought. Now that these heavy lascan teams have been taken care of, they will be able to maneuver into battle relatively unimpeded. And that is not something you want to see from the POV of a guardsman. I mean, dear oh dear, that's not a way to go. Leman Russ battle tank being slapped around by a Dreadnought.
Until taken hold.
1 minute until DoWProIShed wins by critical location victory. Leman Russ battle tank, a brand shiny new one, moving into close combat it seems. Although it does seem it's been stuck on this impending deep striking Dreadnought. Dear oh dear, cornered. Although there we go, duking out the way, managing to get into a safe place. Do have the guardsmen down here moving in to decap that critical location. I do believe it takes about 18 seconds to decap, so they have managed to get that just in the nick of time. One singular commissar, not giving two Fs about a Dreadnought, using his power fist to give him the old backhand. Won't survive for very long, sadly, but that was an honourable last stand. Inquisitor for the Imperial Guard, trying to beat back these Dreadnoughts as the Cascans with their melter guns get the finishing blow. Do have a venerable Dreadnought now ready to come out to play. And yeah, 95 and 63 to 106 and 76. Do have a Vindicator Assassin on the way out. More Guardsmen. Just saw a brand new Leman Russ tank as well. And at the moment, yeah, you've still got all the blue money in the world. Just buy more things. That's what I'd say in this dire situation. Mind you, the one thing you've got to take into consideration. Oh, there's a. Before I go on to that point, Venerable Dreadnought. Look at that. Little wings on the side. Big old flamer. Claws as sharp as you like. Lovely little model. Anyway, yeah, one thing to keep in mind with the Guardsmen is that their fire support resource is what they use to purchase vehicles. Like a Leman Russ battle tank is 80, so it's quite a big thing for them to buy. And that only goes up depending on how many actual individual Guardsmen you have on the field. So the smaller your infantry cap, the smaller your vehicle resource goes up. I'm going to see a Mars passing command. A Baneblade would certainly assist in breaking this stalemate. I mean, the Space Marines had an opportunity to move in there with their missile launchers, but instead deciding to decap all these bits and bobs, which, to be fair, is what you would normally do. You wouldn't expect your enemy to have the flirt that they have at the moment. So in the short term, it won't do all that much to him, but in the long term, it will certainly do something. Inquisitor with his power hammer, one of the 40,000 Warhammers coming in, going one-on-one against this Venerable Dreadnought, but then naturally dying. I thought he was actually going to win, but nope, nothing for you. Now a couple of Dreadnoughts, another Venerable Dreadnought as well, moving in. Heavy las cannon firing away as these Leman Russes try and provide these Guardsmen some support. Venerable Dreadnought managing to strike down that heavy las cannon.
Big guns ready to fire.
And this is a slow march into the Imperial Guard's base.
Time to strike back hard.
They could press harder, but then again, these these Leman Russes are causing a little bit of an issue. Might even be an idea just to repair these Dreadnoughts and then put them back inside the orbital relay, just so you can sneak around the front lines of the Guardsmen and then just get straight onto these heavy weapons teams. More Guardsmen coming out, more Leman Russes. Limit of 3, so this will be the last Leman Russ to come out.
Why did no one help me? Yes, yes.
I do quite like the voice actor for the Vindicator Assassin.
Yes, yes, of course.
Gives me very Solid Snake vibes. Anyway, flanking manoeuvre. Leman Russes coming round the side. Both them being upgraded for las cannon. Guardsmen over here gonna move around on this side. Space Marines foregoing their missile launchers for some plasma guns will reduce their capability against the Leman Russ battle tanks, but don't really need that all that much when you've got blooming Dreadnoughts on the field. Guardsmen losing their morale, but managing to keep these guys at bay.
Present and accounted for, sir.
Now, what Space Marines could do in this situation is, the Guardsmen are expecting them to come up this hill over yonder. They could just take one singular, or maybe even a couple, of Dreadnoughts. And they've got this whole area down here which is completely and totally undefended. They've also got this area down here which is relatively undefended as well. Two-pronged attack. Do they have the money for that kind of thing there? Not really. I'm going to go for a Land Raider there.
Under fire.
Venerable Dreadnought charging in, taking down a Vindicator Assassin before then moving back. Alright then, let's fast forward and see what the big old plan is for either player. So staying in this heavy cover will be seen by the Guardsman's scan. Do have a Baneblade on the way out, 65%. The Land Raider will also be finished fairly soon as well.
We are the Emperor's children.
So Relic on Relic action to finish off this match, I do believe. Guardsmen building up their forces. Vindicator Assassin also being replaced. Terminators finishing up for the Space Marines. There we go, Land Raider. So this is... It certainly has the airs of finality about it. Space Marines going to push these Guardsmen back home with their plasma guns. But when the Baneblade comes out, the Space Marines aren't going to have a happy day. And to be fair, triple Dreadnoughts and double Space Marines, currently none with extra squad members. The Guardsmen have got quite a sizable amount of infantry with their Leman Russes and their Baneblade. I'm going to move forward, focus on this listing post as the Land Raider already losing a significant amount of health from this heavy lance cannon. Dear oh dear, that's not what you expected to see. But it has been wiped out quite nice. Well, not wiped out, but wiped down to half health quite nicely. Baneblade firing straight into the flanks of this Venerable Dreadnought. Terminators deep striking in, but not going to survive all that much. They have not been well, they've not been reinforced before deep striking, so are lacking away in there. In fact, they're not even really surviving all that much against las fire. I mean, there's not that many las pistols apart from the sergeant's las pistols. Venerable Dreadnought's going down. Predator and Land Raider, they're giving the southern base the business. So it does seem that the Imperial Guard have won the northern engagement, the Space Marines have won the southern engagement. But I must say that the Imperial Guard look like they're in a much stronger position at the moment. Although they've still got all the economy in the world. Field Command, though, will be destroyed. Guardsmen finally breaking out of that chokehold in the north.
Eager for action, sir.
And the Baneblade will take on this Land Raider.
3 minutes.
Got a bigger turret.
Victory.
Got bigger tracks. Scarier tank overall. Land Raider going to stand one more time before being exploded. More deep striking people in the form of assault Terminators. I'm going to see some Basilisks as well from the Imperial Guard's perspective as they start to spread out over on the northern side, retaking This Relic, which has swapped hands many a time in this match. Pardon me once again. I do quite like how the Leman Russ battle tank just looks like a baby version of the Baneblade. Mother and son coming out for a day in the park. These Terminators don't seem to have they don't seem to have stood up much in this engagement. I do have to say.
We did it, sir.
As you wish, so shall it be done.
Although triple land speeders
Will only take me a moment.
giving the guardsmen what for. Leman Russ inside of a Baneblade.
What do you orders?
Like one of those Russian dolls where you get it just gets smaller as the doll gets taken apart. Landspeeders chase these guys all the way back to the base, but this heavy las cannon team will keep these guys at bay. Baneblade and Leman Russ just cruising into the base as casual as you like, ignoring anyone and everyone. Assault Terminators there, gonna get involved into close combat with these guys, giving them the old hammer and anvil treatment. More Assault Terminators as well, being deep stricken in.
1 minute until take and hold victory.
And Blueman52 with the take and hold victory incoming. And Space Marines need to capture at least 2 of these in time. I'm going to decap this one over yonder. But not sending anyone over. They are sending the land speeders, but land speeders are not. They don't decap critical
30
locations.
seconds until take and hold victory.
Need to start sending someone over pretty soon.
Big guns ready to fire.
Land speeders doing what they do best, which is annoying and slaughtering guardsmen.
We'll have it.
But yeah, with only 10 seconds to spare, this critical location not being taken down, the Imperial Guard will have this game with a critical location victory. So it was a fairly back and forth. Lots of sieging going on this side. A slow progression for the Space Marine player, but the Guardsmen were able to weather the storm and push out with a Baneblade and a couple of Leman Russ tanks. So very good play by both players. And do remember, like I said, this Friday, well, as of the recording of this game, this Friday, we'll be trying to have a little community event on the Dawn of War Pro Mods Discord for the Armageddon, Orcs versus Steel Legion, all that jazz. Cool, if you want to support the channel, £1 a month does get you 1 extra game a week. My name's been Mr. Landshark, pleasure as always, never chore, and I will see you in a bit. Peace.